Festive Pizza Skulls! Welcome to Rain's Kitchen and Garden. My name is Rain. Today I'm going to show you a fun dinner you can make for Halloween. These are easy to make and they are very versatile. Let me show you how I make them. For this recipe, you'll need a skull pan. I bought this years ago and it's fabulous, but it's a bit pricey, just so you know. I'll leave the link in the description below where I bought it. I've made cakes with this and burritos and of course the pizza skulls. So here are the ingredients that you'll need for this recipe. You're going to need your favorite pizza dough. I make my own and I'm linking the recipe video in the card above and in the description below. You'll need enough dough for a 16 to 18 inch pizza. Just to give you an idea, one 12-inch pizza dough will fit 4 of these skulls. So hopefully that'll give you an idea of how much pizza dough you'll need. You're also going to need your favorite pizza sauce. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below and in the card above of my homemade pizza sauce. You're going to need some olive oil for greasing the pan. And you're also going to need your favorite pizza toppings. I have mushrooms, red and yellow peppers, onions, garlic, and of course cheese. You can use mozzarella cheese for a traditional flavor, but if you want to kick it up a notch, do what I'm doing and use cheddar cheese and Swiss cheese. Oh, it's so good together. But for a vegan alternative, you can use the veggies and some vegan cheese. The first thing I did was I preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 200 Celsius or gas mark 6. And I'm going to take my olive oil and I'm going to grease my little skull cakelet tins. I want to make sure that I get into all the nooks and crannies so that nothing sticks. Now don't soak it with olive oil. Just make sure it's really greased well. And if you like to use the spray greasy stuff, I think, what is it called, Pam? You can go ahead and use that. That's probably a little less messy. I personally don't like using that stuff. I feel like I can taste, I don't know, some kind of canola oil in everything. Canola oil is in everything now and I don't like the flavor of it and I can really taste it when it's in things. So I prefer to either use butter or just light tasting olive oil when I grease things for cooking and baking. All right, there we go. So these are all greased and ready to go. I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to roll out my pizza dough. So I've got this pretty well oiled. I don't think I need to put any kind of flour on my space here, on my work surface, because my dough is sitting in olive oil. That's how I let it sit. I always grease my bowls before I put the pizza doughs in and the bread doughs and things like that. So I rarely need to flour this. And plus I'm using this really cool non-stick mat. It says you don't need to grease it before using it, but I always grease it anyway. So I'm going to try to make this into some kind of a rectangular form because I want to have, and I'm being very, very approximate here, I want to have a rectangle that measures about 15 by 10 inches, okay? That's, what is that, 38 by 25 centimeters. And I want to cut this into 6 even pieces because I have 6 skull tins, right? And it makes it, I love this thing. Look at this, it's the inches. I know I have to go this far, so I only have to measure 10 inches this way. It's really, really cool. So I always have a kitchen ruler handy, and this is only for kitchen stuff. So I'm going to keep my ruler next to me, and I'm going to try to roll it out till it's about 10 inches that way. Let me move my ruler here, because I want to reach my 15 inches. And my friends, this is more or less, okay? More or less. Because nothing is an exact science, but I'm just trying to show you. You want to roll a big rectangle so that you can cut this into 6 even pieces. That's what I'm trying to get at. So it's outside of my camera lens right here. But basically I have a nice big rectangle here. And like I mentioned before, my pizza dough is at room temperature, so it's much easier to work with. Okay, so I have more or less a nice rectangle going, and it might be a little bigger than 15 by 10 inches, but that's okay. So what I want to do is I want to cut this in 6 even pieces. So I'm going to try to measure this. I'm eyeballing it. 6 even pieces, and because I have my non-stick mat, I'm going to be very careful not to press down too hard with my knife because I don't want to cut my surface there. So here we go. There's 3, and we'll cut that in half. So we've got our 6 even pieces here, approximately. When we're putting them into the skull tins, we're going to be stretching them out so that everything fits. You know, pizza dough is very versatile and it's very stretchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to show you how I assemble the skull pizzas. So I'm going to do my pizza skulls one at a time. I'm going to start with just stretching the dough out a little bit. I don't want the dough to break. You could use a rolling pin if you want to stretch it out even further. And I'm just going to press that down into the tin so that it gets the shape, you know, of the skull face on it. I want to have an overhang because what we're going to do is we're going to close up the pizza skull after, right? All right. It may take a little elbow grease to get this going, but once you get it all shaped, what you want to do is put some cheese in on the bottom. This actually helps with sogginess. Now I'm going to do 3 that are just cheese pizzas, and I'm going to do 3 that are vegan pizzas. So for this one, I'm going to grab some of my cheddar and just put it at the bottom of the pizza. And then I'm going to grab my pizza sauce, about a tablespoon. You don't want to overdo it. They probably will overflow a little bit, but that's okay. That makes it even better. And for the cheese pizzas, I'm going to add more cheddar and some of that Swiss cheese on top. It makes it really, really good. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chopped garlic in there. Oh, that's so good. And a little more cheddar. Can't forget that chopped garlic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the pizza dough and I'm going to squish it up together to make sure that it closes. You see what I'm doing here? And I'm going to pinch it. So the first pizza skull is all ready to go. Pushing it down a little bit, and I usually put a little bit of cheese on top, and that's just to differentiate between the vegan ones and the regular cheese ones. So I'm going to continue doing that. I'll do my second one here. Or how about I do a vegan one to show you what I do with the vegan one. So we do the same thing. We're going to drape it in and squish it down. And if you're going to be picky, if you're doing vegan and non-vegan, you should probably wash your hands before doing this. But the person that I'm making this for is not too picky about the cheddar cheese, so I'm not worried about it. Oh, my dogs are now noticing. Oh, a car just went by. This is reality TV, my friends. I thought they were getting up because I was saying the word cheese, but no, they could care less. They're just worried about what's going on outside. That's okay. Dogs will be dogs. All right, so I've got this one pretty much going here. Now what I'm going to do, because this is vegan, I've got this vegan cheese here, and I'm going to put some of the vegan cheese on the bottom, again, to help with the sogginess. As one of my friends says, my friend Ange says, nobody likes a soggy bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing, put about a tablespoon of the sauce in, and then load it up with veggies. I've got some onions, a little bit of garlic, and some mushrooms. Pushing all that down as I go. Some yellow peppers, some red peppers, maybe a few more peppers here. All right, and I'm going to put some more of that vegan cheese on top. And you know, this is 2024 as I record this video. Vegan cheese has come a long way. I remember trying it way back in, I think it was, 2013, like 11 years ago. It was horrible. It tasted awful. But some of the vegan stuff is pretty good now. So I always buy vegan chocolate chips. You can't tell the difference when you're making chocolate chip cookies. So there we go. Let's try to get all of that pizza dough around so that we can seal this. And don't worry if some of the cheese falls out, because what happens is when it's baking, it caramelizes and it's really, really good. So there we go. I'm closing all this up and I'm going to pinch it closed. It takes a few minutes, but you can get it. Patting it down. And for the vegan one, I always just put a red pepper so that I know that that's the vegan one. Don't want to mix it up. If you have vegan guests, there we go. So that one's ready to go. Now I'm going to prepare the other 4, and then I'm going to put these in the oven. I just wanted to mention at this point, you might notice this one. It's a little thin here. This is a very thick piece. So I'm going to grab a piece of this dough and I'm just going to spread it out a little bit and cover up this one, just so it doesn't, ooze out too much. It probably will, but I'm just giving it a little bit of a fighting chance. Okay, so I have all of my pizza skulls all ready to go into the oven. I just heard my oven beep, so I'm going to send these into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until they start to lightly brown. These are all cooked, my friends, and they're ready to go, but I want to let them cool for a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little spoon and I'm going to give them a little bit of help and lift them out just in case, because there are areas where the cheese spilled over, so they may stick a little bit to the pan. But for the most part, I've never had any trouble getting these out. And when you turn these around and put them on your serving platter, you're going to see the skull face. It's going to be amazing. These pizza skulls are ghoulishly yummy and so much fun for Halloween. I hope you enjoyed this video today, my friends, and if you did, please give it a like and please do subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on future videos, don't forget to hit the notification bell for more home cooking. Don't forget to leave me a comment. I love your comments and I reply to all of them. And please share this video with anyone you might think will enjoy it. Thanks so much for watching, my friends, and I'll see you next time on Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Bye!